There are many situations where you may want to rearrange or remix a flexible music track. And in those situations, the target time method isn't quite what you need. So that's why we've built in the build from sections method also. When you first open FlexMusic Lab, this left-hand bar will look a little bit like this, but so you can go ahead and click on this arrow next to build from sections method to open that up. And what you'll see is that FlexMusic Lab has already divided the flexible music track up into sections. And that's what each of these are. And you can audition each section by clicking on the play button. So let's go ahead and listen to verse 1A. And now let's listen to verse 2A. And as you can hear in verse 2A, there's a nice little additional string melody that's on there, and you may prefer for that to be up front because again, you may not be able to get to verse 2A if it was played sequentially. So let's go ahead and click on intro, and you can see that the intro has been added to the section builder here. And now I can go down to verse 2A and click on that, 2B and 2C, and then maybe go ahead and add the ending. And I can audition this and play this up here, and it'll play these in sequence. So I just want to let you see that it seamlessly goes from that intro to the next verse. So let's say I went ahead and I listened to this, and I really preferred for this 2C to be in the middle. So I can click and drag on that and just move it into the middle, and it'll play seamlessly. Let's go ahead and jump ahead a little bit on this track here so we can hear that. So we just heard where it kind of jumped into or transitioned into that verse 2, and it did so seamlessly. So another thing that we can do is we can actually take sections and just take parts of sections. For example, let's listen to melody verse A and melody verse B. And now let's listen to melody verse B. And if you can hear that at the melody verse B, at the end of it, in the last 4 measures or so, it started to kind of build up as it transitioned to the ending. So what we can actually do is click on these gear icons right here. And you can see that we see all the measures. I can actually drag along here. Let's go ahead and click on this and drag over to this. And I'm going to just take the first 4 measures. So I can click on this now, and it'll give me just the first 4 measures right here. And then I can come down to this other section and do the opposite. I can come over here and I'll drag over to the beginning of that 4 measures there, the last 4 measures, and I'll add that. And so I can actually have the first part of that melody verse A with the second part of that. And so let's come over here to the ending and see if we can hear that. And as you can hear, it put those pieces together seamlessly. So let's go ahead and move the ending over here to the end. And now we have our own remix track with all the different pieces the way we like them. And one thing I wanted to point out is you can actually drag down to the granular 1 beat level and just add 1 beat at a time if you wanted to, and make something very unique. I just wanted to point out in these custom sections that you can see beat 1 of 16 out of 32, so it gives you an indication that this is only part of a section. And if I click on it, it automatically shows that section over here. I'll do the same thing for this one. So we're automatically jumping and seeing what that is. I can do the same thing actually for all the rest of them as well. And it's going to show me which sections I'm dealing with as I go ahead and click on them. So I can mix these however I want. And once I'm happy with it and I like that track, I can click on render track, and I can do that as many times as I want. If I want to go ahead and try that mix and then mix it a little bit more and render it again and have a different mix, I can do that as often as I want to. Let's go ahead, for example, and get rid of these 2 here, and I'll render another track. And you can see that I can get multiple tracks, and when I'm ready I can go ahead and export them. I can even go ahead and change the formats if I wanted to. And if I wanted to, I can actually batch export them by clicking on that up here, and that'll have both of these selected, and then I can click on the export button and start sharing this track with the world.